SexyHackers.com.
Sexy Hackers presents a podcast where anything can happen, so long as it's written down in a book and I read it out loud from the book. Warning! Do not read this book straight through from beginning to end. These pages contain many different adventures that you may have when you travel to China for a kung fu tour with your best friend. From time to time, as you read along, you will be asked to make a choice. Your choice may lead to success or disaster. Each adventure you take is a result of your choice. You are responsible because you choose. After you make a choice, follow the instructions to see what happens to you next. Think carefully before you make a decision. Young tourists visiting China have been vanishing mysteriously. If you don't find your best friend soon, you may spend your entire vacation fighting against ninja alone. Good luck.
SexyHackers.com.
Life is like a story with many paths to choose. I gotta get some good friends to help me make it through. So here's the plan, just take my hand, the adventure's just begun. And all we have to do is turn to page fun.
Oh, I'm so pumped. I'm so excited.
The theme song. Hey, welcome to Turn to Page Fun, the only podcast where I, your host, Nick Fear, read through a bunch of choose your own adventure books and the like that I found in my partner's parents' attic in a trunk and review them with some of my closest friends. An idea so good that I immediately stole her from her and froze her out of the production process. This week, we are starting off Master of Kung Fu, written by Richard Brightfield, and copyright, let's take a look, 1989. Copyright 1989, written by Richard Brightfield, by Bantam Publishing. The dedication is for Charles Kochman. I don't know why that was important, but I was reading it. That was his friend. With me this week, I have on my left a comedian, English teacher for Chinese.
Yep.
And the meanest person I know, Miss Stacy Pawlowski. Hi, Stacy.
Hi, how's it going, Nick?
I'm good.
I am the meanest person you know. And I don't think you know this about me. I legit studied Kung Fu, Wing Chun Kung Fu. Mm-hmm.
Wing Chun Kung Fu.
Wing Chun Kung Fu, yep. Self-defense.
Okay. So that's a real thing? Is it Wing Chun or Wang Chun?
I studied Wing Chun
Okay.
Kung Fu.
So is the Wang Chun like just a bullshit
totally
song?
Different thing.
Okay.
I mean, it's still Kung Fu. There might be a Wang Chun.
Is it a northern style?
I don't know.
Did you say Wang Chung?
Wing Chun.
Wing Chung. But we were just talking about Wang Chung.
Yeah.
We were trying to decide whether or not Wing Chun and Wang Chun were the same thing.
Right.
I don't think they are.
I don't
Okay.
think they are.
All right. What was the meanest thing you've done so far this week?
This week?
Yeah, this week. What was the meanest thing you did?
I don't know if I did anything really mean this week.
Well, I think the meanest thing that you did this week was torpedoing that question in our bit right now. So
She's taking it so harshly. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay, Stacy. I'm just making fun of you.
Good.
the meanest thing I did this week was make you feel bad for asking me that question.
Yes,
Oh.
yes, it is, because I feel terrible now. I feel she's so good. Yep. She's so good at this.
Good at it.
I taught my nieces to do that laugh. They'll go, moo.
Actually, that's a pretty mean thing, because I'm sure that they're doing that right now. And your sister is like, oh.
Evil laughter.
Or they're in the other room and she's like, what? Did you do?
Pretty much.
All right. Over on my right, I have musician, comedian, writer, improviser, Mr. Brian Bear. Hi, Brian.
Hello, Nick.
How are you today?
I'm doing very well. I should also, full disclosure, say I also took some classes in Kung Fu.
Nice.
I took a Southern style called Hungar Kung Fu.
Nice.
Okay, so we have Wing Chun and Hungar.
That's
Okay.
right. I am by no means an expert. I did not do it for too long. Just
Me
like-
neither, just like a year.
Yeah, like a year and a half or something. I would have kept on,
That's very impressive. Whereas I am a yellow belt in Aikido.
but oh,
It's true. I know
Like
how
the
to fall
diet?
down and get out of the way.
those are good skills.
Those are very good skills that Aikido teaches you how to do expertly.
Yes.
And our special guest this week, we have a comedian, improviser of many improvs, all of the improvs. And you may have recognized her from No Dice here on the Sexy Hackers Network. Mrs. Liv Schursel. Hi, Liv.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a Mrs.
You are a Mrs.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's not new, but it is true. So full disclosure, I did not take Kung Fu, but I did take about a year of karate, and I got to, I think, an orange belt.
All right.
I remember very little, and then I had to stop because I went to college. So I took karate for the first time at 17.
Did they put you in like an age appropriate class, or did you have to learn with small children?
I had to learn with like whoever was doing level 1. So you had a little bit of a smattering. Sometimes in the class there were adults who were taking it with their kids.
Oh.
And I just, so I guess no. There was adults and there were kids, and then there was teenager who was like, I'm going to be a superhero.
And no spoilers. Did you turn out to become a superhero?
I can't tell you.
Yeah, that would be a spoiler.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Right.
But
Okay.
After this, we will all be fighting in the parking lot with our various,
Oh,
find
with
out.
our various
Absolutely.
styles.
yes.
Yes.
We will see who's
Nick
the
is
true
just
Kung
out
Fu
of the way
master.
on the
Yes.
ground.
He's laying on the ground.
What do you stop falling down? He's just getting away.
Oh, he's getting away. He's using my strength against me.
I'm hyperextending my elbow every time I try to hit you.
Exactly. That's all Aikido is. Because Aikido is a sword form, actually.
Oh.
So it's mostly about, there's this sharp edge coming at me. What can I do?
Dodge, dip, dive, and dodge, man.
Yeah. The 5 Ds of dodgeball. Dip, duck, dodge, dive, and dodge. Great. So without further ado, let us begin our adventure into the to find the master of Kung Fu. You can hardly believe it. It's the first time you've ever flown. And here you are on a jumbo jet thousands of feet above the Pacific Ocean on your way to China. Your best friend, Billy, is seated next to you. Thanks to him, you'll be spending this month of your summer vacation in China. Billy's a martial arts nut. His Kung Fu school arranged a tour of China for his martial arts class, and you managed to talk your parents into letting you come too. Even though you haven't been studying Kung Fu, you've been studying Aikido. That doesn't say that.
Oh, okay.
Nobody knows what Aikido is. Actually, who knows? Steven Seagal is a master of Aikido.
Oh.
True story. Billy spends most of the flight telling you about China and Kung Fu. The Shaolin Temple in central China is where Kung Fu all got started, Billy says excitedly, filling the air with Kung Fu and karate chops. And there is a picture of you on the plane. And it's you look like a dark-haired boy with a polo. And you're sitting next to Billy, who's got freckles or acne. And he's definitely has the little kid mullet. And you basically, both of you are being little assholes on the plane. Because
That's some serious
you're
horseplay right
doing
there.
Some serious in-seat karate chop horseplay. While somebody's dad with a mustache and glasses reads a magazine on communist China.
is the
Because there is a giant star in the front of the magazine.
Yeah.
And some Chinese letters. And a woman next to him, I don't know, reading over her shoulder.
It kind of looks like she's like, hey, let me talk to you while you're reading,
And he's
which
like,
happens on planes
Yep.
a lot.
And the guy in front of you, both you kids, is just like, oh, these fucking kids. These kids.
He took the drowsy Dramamine and he's just trying to sleep.
He's just trying to sleep. It's a long flight. Probably. I've never been there.
You've never been to China?
I have not been to China.
Oh.
I've also never been to China. Nor do I talk to people from China on a regular basis.
Well, it's a good thing that we have this book to learn as much as we
Yes.
can about
Yep.
China.
Totally
I know
accurate
that
book.
on that page it said China like 13 times. China, China, China. Where are we going?
Now we know how to spell it.
Yep.
Another really interesting about China, Japan, and the Orient is the ninja. Billy tells you as he pulls out a book and points to a picture. The ninja spent years training to become assassins. They were masters of kung fu. No, they weren't. And all the other martial arts, too. They also knew how to use a lot of different weapons. Poison, trickery, disguise, hypnotism, and even magic.
Sure.
Are we going to meet Ninja on the tour? You ask. Of course not, says Billy, playfully punching your arm. That's all ancient history. There aren't any ninja anymore. Finally, exhausted from talking, you lie back in your seat and daydream about the Great Wall of China, the Forbidden City, the Imperial Palace, and even panda bears.
You just dream about the tourist book, basically.
Gonna get some Panda Express while he's there.
Probably.
Please fasten your seatbelts, says the flight attendant, gently shaking your arm. We're about to land. You lean toward the window to look for Shanghai Airport and see the city below you. A river lined with large buildings snakes through the center of it. You brace yourself and cross your fingers as the plane touches down. With a squeal of the brakes, it comes to a stop.
I think that when they wrote this book, there was probably a discussion on whether the plural of ninja was ninja or ninjas.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. That was definitely in there. I'm
I
not sure which
believe
is
it's
right.
ninja.
I do
But
too.
Jenny, the vernacular now would say ninjas.
Ninjas. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's also very funny that they had that discussion and didn't ever bother to even think that ninja have nothing to do with kung fu or China.
It's almost like they might show up in this book somehow.
Right. Maybe they'll teach them that it's not kung fu, it's ninjutsu, which is where the
Right.
name comes from.
Yeah. And
Which I'm saying so I remember, not because I think no one knows.
right. Yes, that's what it was.
You and Billy leave the plane and enter a modern airport terminal. Officials check your passports as you move through customs. Then, you exchange your American money for some strange-looking Chinese money called yuan. Outside the terminal, you hail a red flag taxi. It looks like a large 1950s Buick, but it's actually made in China. You Americans? The driver, who is wearing a New York Yankees baseball cap, asks you. I speak very good English. Where to, boss? Ouch. Okay, we're gonna take a pause here, and sometimes I will be reading straight through a lot of the casual racism. So we're just gonna move.
Yep.
Just it's gonna
past
happen.
that. It's gonna happen. This is 1989, and yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
Billy looks at the piece of paper the travel agent gave him back home. The Peace Hotel on Nanjing Road, he says. On how, says the driver. Peace Hotel. Very good. You grip the edge of your seat as the cab speeds away from the airport and toward the hub of the city, about 15 miles away. You arrive at a vast checkerboard of low, whitewashed houses and boxy apartment buildings. The taxi barrels around a corner into a honeycomb of narrow streets and screeches to a stop. You stare in amazement at the chaos in the street, thick with bicycles. The riders are all jingling their bicycle bells. The radio loudspeaker blasting from all directions add to the traffic din. The cab inches along through the crowd, behind a rumbling trolley car. Is it always like this? You ask the cab driver. Nanjing Road all the time is very busy, the driver shouts over the din. Many miles long, many shops. Finally, you reach the Peace Hotel. You pay the cab driver with your Chinese yuan and hope he gives you the right change.
As opposed to the Japanese yuan or the American yuan.
Why wouldn't he give you the right change?
Why couldn't you just say money?
Yeah, well, again. Yep.
Because you're learning about China.
That's right.
true.
Okay.
And the
Yes.
ninja that live there.
Yes, and the ninja.
Who know kung fu?
Right.
The tour doesn't begin till tomorrow morning. So after you check into the hotel and drop off your bags, you rush back outside, anxious to explore Shanghai.
Are there any chaperones?
end.
Yeah.
Well,
Are
that's
there
what I
any
was going to say.
chaperones? We're
I like how it's
hey.
like, you finally convinced your parents to let you come. I'm like, you didn't have to convince the school the kung fu school?
Oh yeah, them
Because
too.
I feel like they'd be like, no.
Yeah, no.
No,
This
I
isn't
mean,
for you.
they've like you're with Billy, and they've trained Billy in kung fu.
He's clearly a master of kung
so
fu.
as long as you're with Billy, you should be okay,
right.
Yeah.
Because he can't put his fists in his pockets because they'd be concealing deadly weapons.
Oh, there you
Ah,
go.
yes.
Yeah.
They're
true.
just like, all right, kids, have fun in China.
Yeah, right.
Run
China.
off. You be back by dinner time.
You can use all your own money to get from the airport to the hotel where we're staying.
Yep.
Billy, his camera slung over his shoulder, studies a street map. There should be a photo shop around here somewhere, he says. I want to find how long it takes to get film developed. Well, let's go, you say enthusiastically, fascinated by the hustle and bustle of Shanghai.
This should turn out great.
Oh my God.
It's been a long time.
This is a long intro, guys.
Yes,
Oh
it is.
man.
I think it's so far the longest.
It is a long intro. Nanjing Road is still teeming with bicycle riders and people. You are trying to cross the road when Billy is almost run down by a bicycle. As he jumps back, you see someone in the crowd snatch the camera off his shoulder. Hey, stop! Billy shouts and plunges into the crowd after the thief, who is now running down a side street. Oh, wait for me, you yell, but Billy is already out of sight. You push through the crowd, but you've lost him. You run in the direction that Billy and the thief went. You see Billy at the end of the block, across the street, standing in the doorway of a shop. Billy, wait! You shout and wave your hands. Billy stops and turns in your direction at the same time as a trolley car passes in front of you. The trolley passes, and he's gone.
Dun, dun, dun.
Like a movie effect.
All right. So there is another hysterical picture. Not so much about like everything else going on, but just like how 1989 you are
say, like-
or your friend Billy is.
Oh,
See, like a super long T-shirt.
He is wearing a super long 2XL T-shirt. And he is wearing some fabulous,
Oh my God.
fabulously colored jams.
Yep. It's in black and white. You can tell they're fabulously colored. They got
Absolutely,
the
yeah.
triangles, the circles, just the like basic shapes.
89, 91 pattern.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm going to say it's teal, yellow, and red.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Right
So we're
there.
going to move along real quick because this is a super long intro.
Oh, it's still going.
It's
I thought that
still
was the
going.
end.
Oh my gosh. No.
All right. You run to the doorway where Billy was standing. It's the entrance to a photo store. You walk in and look around. It takes a moment for your eyes to adjust to the dim light. You see a wooden shelf lined with cameras. One of them looks like Billy's. You are startled when a small Chinese woman suddenly appears out of the shadows. She is dressed in a blue silk dress with a high collar. You want to buy the camera? She asks. No, I'm looking for my friend. I think he just came in here. I didn't see anyone. I'm here all the time, she says. Disappointed and confused, you return to the hotel. There's no sign of Billy at the hotel, and he doesn't return that night. In the morning, you pack your bag and go to your tour office, hoping that Billy will meet you there. In the office, you see a muscular, middle-aged man looking at a clipboard. You introduce yourself. He shakes your hand vigorously. Hi, I'm Robert Cole. I'm your tour guide. You can call me Bob. Glad to meet you, Bob, you say. Can you tell me if Billy Richards has shown up yet? Bob checks his clipboard and shakes his head. Nope. Haven't seen him. Bob glances quickly at his watch. All aboard, he yells. What? You watch in dismay as everyone boards the bus. Can't you wait for him? You ask in desperation. Sorry, can't do that, Bob shrugs apologetically.
Child's missing. We can't wait for them.
If we don't leave right now, we may miss our connection. Are you coming? If you stay in Shanghai to look for Billy, turn to page 24. If you board the bus and hope Billy will catch up with the tour, turn to page 34.
SexyHackers.com.
This episode of Turn to Page Fun brought to you by Regular Books. Regular Books. There's no choice. You just have to keep on reading them. Regular Books. The word page after filled with words after words after words. Going on for 6 whole pages just to get the intro through. Regular Books. You're terrified that you might have chosen a regular book for your podcast. Regular Books. Try it out alone.
SexyHackers.com.
And we are back to Turn to Page Fun. In the first segment, we had the longest intro we've ever had in a Choose Your Own Adventure book.
Quite extensive.
I counted it out. It was a whopping 7 pages.
7 pages.
Of before we got to our first choice, which was to stay in Shanghai to look for our friend Billy, who was disappeared after chasing after a person who had stolen his camera.
Right.
Or to hop aboard the bus of your tour because they can't be bothered to wait for any small child who hasn't shown up.
Question: where's the bus going? Do we know for sure?
We have no idea. It's just going on a tour of China
And there's a connection.
Right.
that they have to meet. Yes.
I vote get on the bus.
I also vote get on the bus. I
Wow.
don't think so. Your friend is missing. He's not going to get more missing. So if you get on the bus, he wouldn't want you to miss out on this opportunity just because something bad happened to him.
Remind me not to go on a trip with either of you.
But could he get less missing if you, I don't know, stop to try to find him?
I think
Shanghai. Shanghai's ginormous.
the bus is going to mysteriously take us to wherever somebody stole Billy
Oh,
to.
I
I do
absolutely
think it's
think
going to
that
connect
too.
up with him. To be fair,
I think we should stay and look for our friend because he's our friend. And where we should at least appeal to the authorities.
Well, hold on now, Brian, though. Your friend has been taking Kung Fu, so I'm pretty sure he can
right.
take care of it.
He'll be fine. Since there's no option to report this to the chaperones that don't exist on this trip.
Or just don't care if that was our chaperone.
I think you did report it to the chaperone, who was the
Maybe.
guy running the tour, and he's
is
like,
he?
he's got to go.
He's like, yeah, we gotta go. This isn't an international incident or anything. Just because an American child has been kidnapped in a foreign country. People don't care about that.
Well, aren't you coming back to Shanghai in the evening? Like you're doing a tour and then you're staying at this hotel?
That could very well be a possibility.
So if you're just leaving for the day and then you're coming back.
It's probably fine.
get on the
Probably
bus.
fine.
Get on the bus.
We're getting on the bus.
All right, looks like we are getting on the
Marking
bus
this down.
after our friend who does know Kung Fu, whereas you do not know Kung Fu,
Sure, he doesn't
has
speak.
disappeared on the streets of Shanghai.
That Bob guy seems legit, though. He'll probably save
Yeah.
us.
Okay.
Anyone who goes by a name that doesn't start with the same letter as their real name is probably a good person.
Sure. Oh, okay. I see.
All right. So we are going to do that. You wait until the last possible second, but then get on the bus. You look out the window, hoping you'll see Billy running down the street. The bus winds its way through the streets of Shanghai. 20 minutes later, it stops in front of a massive stone building. Everybody out for the train!
Now
Bob
the
shouts.
It's only 20 minutes
He
away.
jumps off first and leads the tour group through the crowded station and onto the train. 15 minutes later, a whistle screeches. The train, pulled by an old-fashioned chugging steam engine, moves out of the station. The train stops often, and you buy donuts, tea, and slices of watermelon from the local people who are selling food from carts on the railway platform.
Sounds like he's really enjoying not hanging out with Billy. Like, I guess he can't
You
come.
buy one for Billy, too, just in case he shows up.
Finally, Bob comes through your train car and announces that the group is getting off at the next stop. The train is met by a rickety old bus, and the group climbs aboard. The bus bounces down a dirt road and then up into the foothills of a mountain range. After several hours, it stops in front of an elegant one-story gatehouse. Its curving red tile roof is topped by a row of gilded ornaments. This is the entrance of the Shaolin Temple, Bob says. The tour group bows respectfully.
Be nice if Billy was here. I'm sure this is something
Billy
he
is
wanted
there.
He
to
would have
Billy's
see.
inside.
really enjoyed that.
You think he's inside?
I think so too.
Bob takes the group on a tour of the temple's grounds. The original temple was built on this site in the 5th century, Bob explains. Here, a monk from India named Bodhidharma, or Tamao, was the Chinese, as the Chinese call him, taught his pupils how to meditate as well as perform the physical exercises that became the basis of the martial arts, including kung fu, karate, and jiu-jitsu. All that was a lie.
But not ninjutsu.
No, not ninjutsu. Okay, I read jujitsu instead of ninjutsu. Okay. You are fascinated by a beautiful garden you glimpse as you pass through a small arched gateway. A narrow gravel path winds its way down among the grove of old gnarled pines. You leave the tour and walk into the garden. It's deserted. You walk down a winding path. Each bend brings another surprise. A small artificial lake, a shrine, a group of jagged rocks that resembles a miniature mountain range. You see someone up ahead disappear around the bend in the path.
Billy.
You can't be sure, but it looked like Billy.
Or a ninja. Masters of disguise.
Because they were all dressed the same. So
Billy, you shout and run after the figure. In your haste, you trip and hit your head on a stone.
Oh, man.
You feel the intense pain on your forehead before you black out.
The
Convenient.
chip on a rock.
I just want to say this sounds really scenic and beautiful. Should have been on the fucking tour.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You feel raindrops falling softly on your cheeks. Slowly, you open your eyes. You see a group of orange-robed monks standing over you. They are splashing water on your face. You try to shake the cobwebs out of your head as they pull you to your feet. You let your fingers slide up to the large bump where your head hit the rock. It stings painfully when you touch it. You start to run your fingers through your hair, but it's all gone. Your head's been shaved.
Oh, and you are not in a hospital by the sound of it.
Shut up.
Yes, because that's the favorite thing that Buddhist monks like to do is just
Wacky prank.
wacky prank.
They got you
Indoctrinate
again.
children who get injured on their
Shave
property.
Children's heads that get injured on their property.
Oh, my God.
Astonished, you look down and see that you are wearing an orange robe. The same robe as the monks are wearing.
Oh my God.
Whoa, okay.
There's a kid. Turn him into a monk.
Hey, here's a random kid. I bet he wants to be a monk.
He tripped and fell on a rock. That's pretty much an ancient tradition
Those
now.
are the rules. I mean, it's on the sign out front.
Yep.
Hey, this kid, he's all alone. Could he be with the tour group? No, the tour group is not stupid enough
Yeah, to go running off.
go somewhere else. Don't they know kids are missing in China?
Oh, boy. So we've been monk-napped.
You've been monk-napped.
All right.
All right.
But plus side, we might get to learn Kung Fu.
Is this some kind of joke? You ask the monks, but they don't seem to hear the question. Are you all right? Asked one of the monks. I think so, you reply. You fell and hit your head. But it's all right now, the monk says. The master is waiting for you in the great hall. Good luck. We hope you graduate to the highest order of the Shaolin Temple. Confused and groggy, you walk to the great hall. Why?
Well, you injured your head. You're not thinking clearly.
It's a dream
Fair enough.
sequence.
Obviously, a dream.
Inside the hall is a vast, high-ceilinged room. The floor is a wide expanse of dark, polished wood. You file in with other young monks and sit cross-legged in front of the Grand Master. Why are you going along with it?
Right. Why aren't you... Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
Why am-
I'm sorry.
Do you not want to become a monk or something?
No, I don't. Yeah, man, if you keep on talking, you can't be a monk like us. Yeah. I don't want to be.
You're going to make the Grand Master angry.
You're going to make people start to think that you don't like it here.
You didn't want to be here. Why'd you fall and hit your head on that rock, dummy?
And then let us shave your head while you were unconscious.
We had 5 signs in 5 languages.
Right. Just so you know,
I mean, none of them were English.
if you wish to join, trip and fall and hit your head on a rock.
Yeah.
The international.
Well, you hit your head on the joining rock. That's where
It's the international symbol for I want to join this organization when you trip and fall.
It's clearly written around the rock that if you hit your head on it, it means you want to join our Shaolin temple.
We all did the initiation. They all turn. They've got a bump right in the face. Oh.
What the hell? Seated on a raised platform, the master leads everyone in a period of silent meditation. Am I dreaming? Or have I somehow gone back into the past? You wonder as you meditate, again, going along with something that you clearly don't want to be going along with.
Well, sure, I'll meditate, but I'm going to think about things.
The master rings a handbell and calls your name. How does he know your name?
Oh my God.
He's the master.
All right.
He took his
Confused.
identification out of his jeans.
Also that.
Oh, yeah. He probably needed a passport.
Yeah.
Confused, you stand up and go forward, bowing respectfully to the master. It's bizarre, but your body seems to have a mind of its own. You Okay. All right. I was worried for a second. You unwrap your orange robe.
Oh, okay.
Underneath, you are wearing a white kung fu tunic.
Oh, good.
Okay, good. Several of the other monks do the same. They surround you and take fighting stances.
Oh.
Then they attack you.
Okay, you might be having a vision, but I think it would be really funny if you weren't, and you just get the shit kicked out of you by like 4 monks. You're just like, oh.
We have a traitor in our midst.
You fend off the monks with lightning-like thrusts, fist strikes, elbow strikes, and kicks that come to you naturally, as if you had practiced them every day for years. You counter all 5 opponents' blows effortlessly, and then aggressively attack your opponents. Suddenly, the Grand Master rings the bell. The monks return to their places. The Grand Master presents you with a bronze scepter. You are now a master of Kung Fu.
That was easy.
Just like Neo.
That was easy.
Time to leave the temple.
The Grand Master says to you,
You must choose one of 2 vital missions. The first is to go to the court of the emperor and prevent his assassination. The second is to go to the western provinces and protect the foreigners there. China must be made safe for trade, or China will always live in the past.
it's hard for you to decide. Either choice is full of danger. On the other hand, you're now a master of Kung Fu.
So you're totally cool with that.
What the hell is going on?
You've been transferred into
Did
the past.
we miss something? Did I miss a page?
I think it's just like I think you're in the past or dream sequence.
You're gonna
but-
wake up on the plane after this whole book is done.
All right. If you go to the court of the emperor, turn to page 32. If you go to the western provinces, turn to page 70. What is it?
Well, let's see. We'll be protecting foreigners.
Like you.
I was gonna say, like,
you in one
Americans?
place. Have they acknowledged if you're? Oh, this is weird. We're just like in it all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like the emperor is probably pretty important. Maybe if we save him, he'll give us magic shoes and we can click and go back to our own home.
I'm leaning towards Emperor.
Me
Yeah.
too. Also, that just sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go save the emperor?
Yeah, I don't want to hang out with tourists. I had to do that for the
right.
first 7 pages of this book.
And look where it got us.
To the emperor.
All right, we are going to go ahead and go
gonna be-
to the court of the emperor
Emperor Billy.
and see what... It might be Emperor Billy.
That would be awesome.
We're going to go to the court of the emperor as a newly formed Kung Fu master.
Why not?
Why not? After this quick word from our sponsors.
SexyHackers.com.
Today's episode of Turn to Page Fun brought to you by the Shaolin Temple. Is there something missing in your life? Do you wish you could be more? Well, then come on down to the Shaolin Temple and join the Shaolin monks. That's right. All you got to do is come in with a tour group, get lost, and smash your head on the joining rock. And you'll wake up years later a master of Kung Fu. Any kind of Kung Fu, be it Wang Chung or Hungar, or even Aikido for some reason. Do you worry that you don't have what it takes to follow the religious discipline involved in becoming a master of Kung Fu? Don't worry about it. You smashed your head on the joining rock. All that knowledge has come to you automatically. So go ahead and change your life right now. Come all the way to China, smash your head on that joining rock, have it shaved by us, get a nice orange robe, and become a master of Kung Fu. It's that easy.
SexyHackers.com.
And we are back to Turn to Page Fun, where we are currently reading Master of Kung Fu, and it is baffling us. We are being baffled by Master of Kung Fu. Currently in the story, we have gone to China with our student of Kung Fu, our friend Billy. We have managed to get a spot in this Kung Fu tour, but he has been since kidnapped, trying to chase after a person who stole his camera on the first day of the trip. And then rather than try to find our friend Billy, we just went on the tour anyway.
Right.
We wandered away from the tour, slipped and fell, and smashed our head on a rock. And then we woke up among a bunch of Shaolin monks, and now we are a master of kung fu. Mm-hmm. And we were given the choice by our kung fu master to go to the West and help the foreigners there, or to go to the East, the Forbidden City, and protect the emperor.
Pretty standard trip to China.
Your pretty standard tourist trip to China.
Point of order. Is there an emperor still in China?
Prime Minister.
I'm pretty sure they got rid of the emperor.
I'm pretty sure that there is not an emperor of China.
So
I
we
think
may be
not
in the
right now, but I
past, in
think this.
fact.
Yeah, I was gonna say this
may
is a
be in the
time jump.
past. Or there's a secret emperor we don't know about.
I mean, it is
Is forbidden.
It is forbidden.
It's a forbidden city, so you have no idea what's going on in there.
Right.
Aliens.
It's true.
So that is what we have decided to do. We have decided to follow our master's guidance and go to the court of the emperor and stop him from being assassinated. Because we are instantly a master.
Someone's trying to assassinate him too. That'll be fun.
That's part of it.
Early the next morning, you start on horseback toward the capital of the empire. After 2 days of riding across the flat, wide plains of central China, you come to the water country with its many streams, lakes, and rivers. You leave your horse with a farmer, and a fisherman ferries you across the wide river. As the sun sets, you reach the high, massive wall that surrounds the capital. You approach a gate, but it's locked. The gate guard explains that the only way into the city after sunset is by the night basket.
Okay. Gonna need some explanation of what that is.
Don't worry, I will explain what the night basket is.
It's clearly a basket full of moon-shaped cookies. Aw.
Or a superhero. I'm Night Basket.
Oh yeah, Night
Box up
Basket. That's my
criminals.
good friend.
Night
Or I
Basket.
mean, I can't tell you that.
Oh, now we know.
No, can't tell you.
For a small fee, you can be hauled by a rope more than 50 feet straight up to the top of the wall. You wonder if you should wait till morning, when you could slip inside with a crowd of people. After all, you'll be a sitting duck in that basket if your enemies spot you. What enemies? I don't...
The enemies of the emperor. Who are
Where
trying to
are
assassinate-
you? What is happening?
You're a duck in a basket.
How does a book with 7 pages of introduction give you no idea what is going on?
And you've accustomed to it very quickly, apparently. You're like,
You're
well,
just fine with all
I'm,
of this.
I'm in this now.
I feel like the book is trying to trick us by being like, "Oh, your enemies are gonna get you."
Ooh.
On the other hand,
Oh.
it's a moonless night, and there's no one else around.
Except for the cookies in the basket. Those
Right.
ones
So
are
The
still
cookies in
there.
the basket, and I don't know the night guard.
Yeah.
If you use the night basket, turn to page 43. If you decide to wait until morning, turn to page 105.
Question. In the morning, is it still called the night basket? I mean,
I
it's
don't
called the
think you can
night
use
basket.
it, and
It's just
it's just
I
like
think it's night use only.
they open the door during the day.
Right.
It's like in Ocarina of Time, how you have to find the back entrance into Hyrule.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's
that
just like
universal
that.
thing.
I
yeah.
know. I'm sure that is a reference that other people
Some people might know
hipper
it.
than I will get.
It's been a while since I played it, but that sounds
I mean, it's an
familiar.
old game.
Yeah.
Also, while we were riding across country on a horse, by the way, my back hurts from sitting in a very comfortable chair and
Yeah.
thinking about horseback riding all day. I'm like,
Oh, yeah. That's gonna be
but
fun.
I was like, this is Turtles in Time. We are listening to the book version of Turtles in Time.
It is Turtles in Time.
Wow.
Oh, I'm so excited.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes so much more sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't see Turtles in Time.
Okay,
the
so
worst
Turtles in
best.
Time is the third Ninja Turtles movie
Well, I inferred that.
where they go back in time
Right.
to
Japan.
Feudal
Japan,
Japan.
and then do like a Seven Samurai deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like that.
I still vote night basket.
Yeah, I'm going to vote Night
Oh,
Basket.
yeah, absolutely.
Give me in that basket.
Also, give me a shirt that says Night Basket, sexy hackers, please.
Night Basket.
Hackers presents Night,
Night
Basket.
Basket.
Okay, so we're gonna go up into the Night
Ride
Basket.
that
Oh,
Night
yeah.
Basket.
Yes.
Right in the night.
I mean, what are enemies going to do?
Working on
Scale
my
walls
Night
somehow?
Basket.
Okay. You flip the guard a small coin and climb into the rickety basket. It's just large enough to hold you. You nervously yank the rope attached to it, the signal to be pulled up. The guard pulls on a rope, and you begin to rise, very slowly. The basket stops several times, dangling you precariously in the night air. Have you been spotted by spies? Okay, now fuck this picture.
Yeah, I'm like, what is happening here?
Because here's the deal. So we've come to peace with that. We went back in time somehow by hitting our head by the magic of concussions.
Right.
But now this picture of us in the night basket is us in our Shaolin robes with our shaved head in this rickety woven basket.
Right.
But then at the very base is a man wearing a modern khaki uniform.
I was going to say, he looks like a very familiar dictator
He does
from
look-
over
I thought
here.
that too.
But who's not from China, who's
Right,
from,
who's from-
further west of there.
Germany, I believe, was the country.
He's
Well, yeah,
on that Western Front.
Yeah,
He
he
looks
is.
like
He
angry
is wearing. And he's got like a big, thick gun belt, and it looks like either a stick or a modern sword dangling from his side, and he's wearing either jack boots with his shorts, or I think those are socks.
Oh, okay.
But the
Still.
most upsetting thing is that we have just you got there by horseback.
Yep.
There is an emperor. of
There's a
China.
night basket.
But here this guard is clearly
Maybe he hit his head on a rock from the past, and now he's in the future. I don't know how it works. None of this makes sense.
Correct.
this is
China, what are you gonna do, right?
And that basket is full of holes.
yeah, that
absolutely.
basket is
kind
not
of like
safe.
kind of like the plot of the
Plot.
story.
It's a plot basket.
It's a plot basket.
It is all over the place.
Oh my gosh.
Dangling by a thread.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I also like when they're like, it's raising very slowly. It's like, well, there's a human in it.
Yeah,
And
you don't-
humans are heavy.
You don't want this to go very fast, I would think.
Yeah.
Tip right over.
Could be bad.
You are angry and ready to fight when you reach the top.
How did you know, Book?
The guard roars with laughter. The basket trick is the biggest practical joke in the capital. Relieved, you laugh with him.
Then punch his throat.
Better a practical joke than a gruesome death, you think.
Good point.
You climb down a long ladder on the other side of the wall. The sight of the city on the way down takes your breath away. Wide boulevards and canals crisscross the city, which is illuminated by thousands of lanterns that look like fireflies in the dark, chilly night. Horse-drawn carriages move up and down the streets, past small orchestras playing music, jugglers tossing flaming torches, and acrobats doing backflips and somersaults.
So we have no idea where we are in time now.
Correct.
I think
Yep.
I'm just going to give up on the concept of time.
But you didn't come to the capital to sightsee. The Grand Master instructed you to find a boy named Lin Fu. When? When did he
That
do
did
that?
not happen.
Okay.
And why is it a boy? Hi, I'm the head of the Emperor's Guard. My name's Lin Fu.
Okay. You ask the gate officer to take you to Lin Fu. He is startled by your request, but does not object. He leads you to the palace. A small boy greets you. Are you Lin Fu? You ask. Prince Lin Fu, the officer says. Oh, sorry, the officer says. Prince Lin Fu, the officer says, bowing very low. This is the Emperor's son. You wait until the prince dismisses the guard before speaking. I was afraid I would arrive too late, you say, bowing. The Grand Master sent me to warn you that the imperial court is filled with traitors. An attempt on the life of the emperor is near. We must go quickly, then, the prince says.
I'm calling it right now. The prince is the one calling the assassins.
Oh. Also, Grandmaster, maybe let me know that it's the prince that I'm looking for.
Yeah, I would
or
have like
talking
cleaned
to.
up a little bit. Combed
You run
my hair.
after him.
Oh no.
What were you saying?
Combed my. Oh no.
Oh, no, yeah. None of that left.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No
Read
more
the book.
hair.
You run after him down a maze-like corridors in the palace. The prince summons the captain of the guard and as many warriors as he can muster along the way. Lin Fu stops outside the bedchamber of the emperor. The door is slightly ajar. Where are the guards? You step inside. Several black-robed figures, daggers in hand, surround the bed. Their arms are raised to strike. Suddenly, they notice you.
It's ninja time.
Go ninja, go ninja, go. Go ninja, go ninja, go.
Round 1. Fight.
You yell, fists and feet flying into action. The assassins are startled and hesitate. Your foot connects with the head of one at the same instant as your fist hits the dagger of another. Ow!
You regret this decision immediately.
Goes right through your hand.
Like reverse Wolverine. Now you're just hitting people with the butt of a knife.
The third drops his dagger and runs out of the room, only to be quickly captured by the guards. The Emperor wakes up screaming. Lin Fu calms him down. Dozens of warriors stream into the room. Lin Fu tells them all how you saved his father's life. They all bow respectfully. The next day, the Emperor holds a special session of the imperial court to honor you. He sits on a high jeweled throne in front of his glittering court. In gratitude and in recognition of your superior talents and courage, the Emperor says,
man.
I offer you the command of my armies.
All right, guys, I gotta admit, I was wrong about not looking for Billy. This is clearly a great adventure that we have gone on. Sorry, Billy, you don't get kidnapped if you don't want to travel to the past and become Kung Fu Master and General of
the Emperor's army.
Yeah, cool.
You accept the post as Commander-in-Chief of the Emperor's forces.
Why not?
A war council is called with 20 of the top generals and the Emperor presiding. Lin Fu is also there. One of the generals comes forward. Your Highness, he says, bowing low to the Emperor. We are experimenting with a new secret weapon. We call it the fire-spitting lance. It's a long bamboo tube. One end is filled with exploding powder and sealed. When the powder is ignited, it shoots metal pellets out the other end. We have already made many of these. With their use, we can defeat our enemies. Bah! Says another of the generals. We do not have sufficient troops to fight their horsemen without this fire lance. The enemy can shoot their arrows accurately at a full gallop. Oh, he's still talking. The enemy can shoot their arrows accurately at a full gallop. We must strengthen our defenses inside the palace walls before it is too late. The Emperor turns to you. You must decide which is the better plan. He says,
You who have no battle experience or education on war tactics.
If you decide on an immediate attack, turn to page 113. If you decide to strengthen your defenses, turn to page 2.
Okay, so they invented guns.
Yes,
but in that
that
picture,
is
the guy
accurate.
had a holster
I think
on.
that guy was just a fun weirdo who just wore like clothes from the future.
I think the illustrator didn't read the book.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yep. Pretty sure that's. He's like, all right, so he's going up a basket and he's just wearing some kind of guard's clothes. All right, cool.
He's got guns clearly in the picture.
I also just really like the we're like, hey, we invented this thing. We made a ton already. We're not sure if you want us to use these, but we made a bunch.
Well, maybe the Emperor applauds such initiative.
I guess
true.
it's
Maybe,
true.
yeah.
Also, a bamboo stick. Wouldn't that start on fire?
Not if you dry it out.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Or no, vice versa. I don't
Not
know.
if you wet it out.
Yeah.
I think they know
I mean,
what
wet
they're
it in.
doing.
you probably shellac the inside.
Oh yeah, just shellac the hell out of it.
Yeah. And then,
No, I'm sure there's a way to do it. I just am picturing it catching on fire immediately.
All of them?
I can't imagine you could use it more than once and it would be at all accurate.
I know
Right.
that this isn't the same, but in Mulan they have bombs, and it does look like they're in bamboo shoots.
Yeah.
So I take back my previous argument.
Yeah.
Because of Mulan.
You
Yeah.
call
Because of
yourself the general of the armies. No, it's all right.
I'm more like general of the armies.
generally.
I generally know what's going on.
Yeah, I've got 2 armies, 2 leggies. General
On
of
that
the
note,
armies.
I am regretting putting you in charge.
So, do we want to use the fire sticks to? Is that what they were called? Fire spitting sticks?
Fire spitting lance.
The fire lances. Do we want to use the fire lances to attack the horse archer enemy?
Are the fire lances fully operational?
Yes.
armed and operational.
Our fire lance army is fully operational. Yes.
Yeah, I think I say attack him because
Or do we want to hunker down in the? However, they may have analyzed their attack and see there is
some sort of weakness in that defense.
Like
There
a
is
night
a danger.
basket?
A lone fighter could shoot an arrow into some sort of exhaust port on the city. What are we talking about here? I say we attack them.
Blow 'em up.
I assume, light them up.
I feel like historically that has been a problem is people underestimating guns. So I think the guns are going to kick some serious tuchus.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
assume
I'm
we're
with it.
fighting
Let's
them.
do a
We're
fire
fighting the
lance.
Mongols, right? That's what's
some sort of horse archer army.
stepped
So I would imagine it would be
archers
Mongols.
or
Yeah.
step art. All right,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, might as well in this position.
Okay.
Like, hey, you saved my life. You must know things about the military. You're in charge now.
Yeah.
Right. And you as a Shaolin monk is like, I
Right.
can only protect you. I can't fight a war for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
It's true.
Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So we are going to go and see how well our fire lances do against the horse archer enemy next week. on
man.
Turn to Page Fun.
I don't know what's going to happen.
I know, right? Oh, thank you so much to Ms. Stacey Plowski. All right. Mr. Brian Bear, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Liv Shearsole.
Wait, which is my good hand? Hi.
All right. Thank you to Sexy Hackers for giving us this wonderful, wonderful space and for making amazing T-shirts that are so comfortable that have such cool prints on them.
Yeah.
Go ahead and buy yourself one. Thank you to Jason for hanging out and pushing all the buttons for us to make sure that we don't sound like idiots. That's our job. Please catch us every Monday here on the Sexy Hackers Network, or you can find us on YouTube. Basically anywhere you can get your podcast.
Yep.
We'll be there for you every Monday with a new episode of Turn to Page Fun. And lastly, thank you so much to you for being you, listening to us, reading to you here on Turn to Page Fun. We will see you next week through your ears. Bye.
SexyHackers.com! Stream Team!